most important first step is for you to step up and say, I want to grow. I want us to all get better. And so that starts with you telling me how I can improve.
How do you start that if you don't have it inside the business, right? So if we agree that there's a platform, there has to be agreement and clarity. How do you go about it, starting a culture of feedback inside your organization?
There's only one answer, is you have to go first. And that doesn't mean you go first giving feedback. It means you go first receiving feedback. Like always, that's the role of a leader from my perspective and my experience is always to model the way. And so I think we get this wrong because we come into an organization or a new role and it's like, yay, it's time for me to tell everybody how they could be better. And in reality, the most important first step is for you to step up and say, I want to grow. I want us to all get better. And so that starts with you telling me how I can improve. It also gives you a unique perspective because the best thing about feedback is that it's often stuff you don't see yourself or you saw and chose to ignore, and there's power in someone else holding up that mirror to you. So yeah, the first step is start asking for and applying feedback.
I think that's so interesting, right? The whole notion of modeling the way, which should be inherent in a leader. It's not always inherent in a leader. But one of the things that I see, particularly with new leaders, either ones that have been promoted or ones that have been brought into an organization from the outside, they're looking to make their impact. And a lot of times the way in which they're doing that is they're trying to force their way into the conversation as opposed to, again, being of service and bringing people in to invite, hey, let me model this, give me the feedback, from my own actions and my own behaviors, because I do want growth. What are some of the questions that you can ask to start modeling that behavior? What are the go-to questions that you have where you're like, oh, these are the ones that I would use for a new leader?
Well, I think I would caution those of us who are enthusiastic to do it right, that this is still change for people and everyone's level of comfort, no matter how perfectly you ask a question, everyone's at a different place of how comfortable they are telling you or anyone kind of what could be done better. Frankly, some people, we have really hard time praising each other. This is a muscle that not all of us have worked. And so I would just say, be gentle, maybe tone down the enthusiasm, and we're going to get to the point where everyone's free flow. Let me just tell you how that could have been better. Let me shoot you a quick message to say, I really appreciated this, but it's going to take some time to get there. And so maybe slow your roll a little bit and just baby steps. And so I would start in a meeting. Hopefully you're having team meetings. And at the end of the meeting, I would start a practice that says, okay, what's one way we could have run that meeting better? What could I do differently? And do not let your team leave until you have at least one idea. And then when someone gives a suggestion, you reward that. It takes courage to answer a question that says, what could we do better in front of others, especially if it's aimed at, the leader in the room.